Welcome back, folks. We've got another episode of Running Out of Patience with Nick Palmer. And as always, I am your host, Nick Palmer. Today, we're going to talk about race. What's new, right? It's kind of what this podcast is turned into. Me talking about race quite a bit, but I see a trend and I'm seeing a lot of bullcrap. My people, my white people, my brethren, my kindred, they're being wiped from the face of the earth, right? We're being eradicated. Nobody wants to talk about it. They're ignoring it. There is a hashtag that's pretty popular. Few of them, but we'll talk about the white genocide one, right? What's going on? It's happening. It's not a conspiracy theory, folks. They are trying to get rid of white people. So most of my followers at this point probably white. So pay attention, folks, because this is some cold, hard truth. So let's get into the dirty of what we got today. Did you know that these cities were once unironically called? Detroit was once referred to as Paris of the West. Now, I know all of us are aware of the condition that Detroit is currently in, right? We know Flint, Michigan still probably doesn't even have water, right? So Detroit is in the Detroitlet. It's in the toilet, right? It's just hit the flush button, right? Send her down the tube. It does not look anything remotely compared to Paris of the West. So, St. Louis, Rome of the West. That was once the nickname of St. Louis, Rome of the West. Sounds pretty unique. I like that. Never heard of such a thing, right? Never heard of St. Louis being referred to as Rome of the West. The only kind of Rome of the West I've seen in St. Louis was let's see, how can we do the viral video of the homeless white man that was shot point blank range in the back of the head on camera, and nobody sat around, and everyone just sat around and did nothing, right? It's still up on Twitter, right? No uproar because it was a white man, right? Nobody cares because it was a white man. Now, if it was the other way around, St. Louis would have been burned to the ground, right? Baltimore, once referred to as Charm City. Can you believe that? Baltimore, I think it comes in at number 3 at the highest crime rate city in all of America. But it was referred to as Charm City. Nothing charming about Baltimore these days. Sadly, Chicago, by far my favorite nickname on the list. And folks, I looked all this information up. It is accurate and true, but Chicago was once referred to as the White City. Sounds like a pretty safe city to me, right? There's nothing white about Chicago these days. Not even the Chicago White Sox are white these days, folks. Okay? New Orleans, America's most European city. Probably at one point the safest city in America with a name like that. But nobody ever talked about these nicknames to us. I never knew till yesterday, right? What about Philadelphia, once referred to as the Athens of America? Sounds like a beautiful place. They all do. Sound like beautiful places that, I would take the family. I want to raise my family in these areas, but they have been destroyed. So at the end of this here tweet that I was reading from, it says one ingredient was added and everything changed. Now, folks, it does not take a rocket scientist or a chemist. It doesn't even take a chef to figure out what ingredient was added that changed everything. What ingredient was added that completely destroyed these cities? Well, if you're a little slow, you're on the spectrum, or you just need a little assistance on figuring this out or somebody to say it for you, I'll go ahead and say it for you, folks. It was black people. That was the ingredient. Now look at these cities. Nothing remotely close to what they were once referred to as. What an absolute shame. And nobody wants to talk about it, right? It's like there's this big elephant in the room and nobody wants to talk about it. They just want to ignore it. Stare at their phones, pretend it's not there. Well, guess what, folks? That elephant is getting really big and it's destroying the whole room and everything outside of it, right? We got shit all over the place. And nobody is doing a damn thing. They can't even talk about it because if they talk about it, they get labeled a racist, right? Or a bigot, whatever name you want to just throw out there randomly that don't even make sense anymore, right? They just throw it at you. But I don't care. Someone's got to bring it up. Why? Well, there's a trend, folks. Where is this trend heading? What else is on the rise? Not only is violent crime and destruction in every major city on the rise, but the black on white crime is on the rise. Okay, when I look at graphs and look at statistics over the years, it's like someone put a rocket at the end of this graph and shot it straight in the air. Okay, Elon Musk is riding this rocket of whatever, going straight to outer space and trying to burst through the firmament. Okay, that's what these white people, that's what's happening to our white people. They're being absolutely eradicated from the face of the earth, and it's being ignored. They're downplaying, right? They're downplaying everything. There's a lot going on in the world right now. But my biggest concern is the fact that me and my family and my people, my white people, my tribe, we are the targets. Everybody is sick of the white man, right? Why? What has the white man done besides build up beautiful nations that are now being destroyed? What have we done that's so bad? Right? The media makes it feel like, oh, the white man's just racist and they've been holding the black man down. Folks, wake up to reality. Nobody is holding anybody down but yourselves. Okay? I was born with one hand. You don't hear me making any excuses for my life. I run a moving company with one hand. Do I make excuses? No, I get up and go to work and get my job done. Just like normal people do. But the fact of the matter is, we're not dealing with normal people, folks. Yeah, I said it. It's a fact. Do some research and you'll find out that there is a gene within 17% more black people than white people, right? And out of 17% of all black people, they have this gene. And I believe only 0.5% of European people have this gene. And what this gene causes people to do is have these outbursts of rage, these outbursts of anger, and you're more likely to stab or shoot somebody. Okay? What people's going around stabbing and shooting everybody? It's not white people, folks. Now, it sounds a little rough around the edges, right? It's like, wow, this dude really going ham on black folks. Well, folks, no one else is talking about it. No one else has the courage to speak up and talk about that elephant in the room. So what are we going to do as a people? Are we going to continue to ignore it? Or are we going to prepare for what's knocking on our door or what's about to be knocking on our door? Because there's a storm brewing, folks. And if you can't see it, if you're white, you better start preparing. You better start preparing your hands for battle. You better start carrying a firearm because there will be a day when someone's going to try to take something from you and you're going to have to choke that mother effer, right? I believe that's a famous Gracie saying. Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, start training. Start learning how to defend yourselves. Because I'm telling you, folks, there is a fight ahead of us. And whether you want to fight or not, you're going to be forced to either fight or die or both if you're not prepared. So get with the program, folks. There's an agenda, and the agenda is to attack and kill and get rid of our white people. Now, why do they want to get rid of white people? Well, look around, folks. White people are the only ones willing to stand up and do anything. White people are the only ones speaking out. White people have built and conquered everything. They don't want a strong white people in the world anymore, because then they can't control the rest of us. So wake up to reality, folks. And that's all that I've got patience for today.